years ago, we were living in Germany, and I had an opportunity. So we were doing some humanitarian stuff because there was a lot of Syrian refugees coming into the country at that time, and so we were helping with them, and I was working with some other youth and some teens, and there were several teens there that I got to connect with, and they obviously their parents were in the military, and a couple of them had had some pretty rough family situations, and I could tell one of them was really struggling. And I wanted to try to connect with him. I wanted to try to reach him. And again, this is the story is important because it illustrates the principle for parenting. It's like I wanted to have influence. I wanted to be able to help him make good decisions. Well, in order for me to help or to have influence on him, in order to so he wants to listen to my advice. So he even asks for my advice. First, he has to know that I actually care.
What's the quote by Abraham Lincoln?
Nobody, well,
If you would win a man
to
to your
cause, must first convince him that you are his sincere friend. And there's another kind of quote that says, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And so I went and I'm trying to connect with this kid, and he was constantly avoiding me and everybody else. He just would not engage. And sometimes your children are going to seem like that. It's like they won't engage in your devotionals. They won't engage in your conversations. They won't engage with you. They're just constantly avoiding and avoiding. And he was avoiding everybody, even the other teens. He was saying, I was like, there's a huge group of teens, and he's over in the corner by himself. And I was in the corner by myself. Uh, that's where I feel most comfortable. But I noticed him, and he's by himself, and I'm like, man, he needs to engage. And I'm just watching, hoping somebody talks to him, hoping he talks to somebody else, and I see him sneak out. And I'm like, okay, if he won't engage with these other youth here, and he's going off somewhere, he's either going to go get into trouble, or things are bad. So I followed him out there, and I had to go look for him, and he was hiding in the bushes over sitting on the curb. And I just went and I sat down next to him. I said, hey, buddy, tell me. And I just started asking about him. Where do you live? Where have you lived? What do you like? What are you doing? And I was just asking questions. I'm just sitting there on the curb next to him. And he was kind of one and answering, blah, 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 trying to evade. And then oh man, I'm emotional tonight, man. He just stops and he turns to me. He's like, you really care, don't you? Like, yeah, of course I do. Okay, I'll tell you then. And he just poured his whole heart out to me, and how wrecked his life was, and that nobody cared, and his dad was a loser, and all this pain. He just poured it all out as we sat on the curb there that day. But at first, he just sat there like, yeah, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then he realized, wait, you actually care. I can tell. I can feel it. You care. So I'll tell you. He turned his whole life around. He stopped with the drugs and the alcohol. He stopped with the terrible habits. Actually went and did some missionary work. Married a good girl. Kept messaging me. He's like, I want to tell you how different my life is because of that day you cared. It's amazing. But it's because I cared. And I wasn't trying to lecture him. I wasn't trying to tell him what to do. Like, he started asking me what he should do after, but first I just had to care. So, I don't know, that just a story to illustrate, like, listening comes first and matters so much.
And I think that this is a critically important point, because I know all of us here as parents, we care about our kids. But because we haven't been taught the skills, which is not necessarily our fault, we don't always know how to communicate that care, and instead it comes across as control, or what's another good word? Overbearingness. Mm-hmm. And so instead of them feeling like we care, they feel like we're trying to control and direct their life. And no human likes that, of course. We all hate it. Because true care...
This is how much I care.
I know.
I care so much. I care so much. And the child's like, get away from me. Take your caring a few steps back.
Yeah. So we have to learn how to care in a way that doesn't control. Because that was the other thing. You knew you had no control over his life.
I had zero influence.
Zero.
None.
All you had was care. And that honest, sincere care without control is what led to him being willing to open up. And we can do that with any of our kids when we gain the skills of learning how to do that, right?